Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of the WhotKnot podcast. You've probably forgotten, but my name is Kathy and I'm disabled maker after a car accident in 2007. And this is a podcast about all the crafty things that I get up to. And it's been a hot minute, I know. I don't know why I haven't podcast very much at all. But we'll see how we go. So I've decided just to do things a little bit differently. I've got a squashing buddy. I've got a timer set up and I've got a whole pile of stuff on the desk in front of me. And my plan is to talk for 40 minutes starting now. And whatever I don't get to, I will talk on the next podcast. And this is for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I'm trying to reduce the length of the podcast, which is, I think, for time convenience for people to watch it is better. And also for my own benefit, because it's a lot of work to edit a podcast that goes for over an hour. So, that's my plan. And we'll see how we go with it. But I've got Buddy here in his usual spot. I've got Rusty on the floor. Ralph's under the desk eating a chew. And I've given Dobby his Kong. So let's hope everybody behaves themselves. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I have been keeping in touch with quite a few of you on Instagram. And I post there fairly regularly. Trying to keep you updated on all the bits that I've been up to. I can't show you all the things that I've done since I last spoke to you guys because as a general rule, if I'm making stuff, it's for a gift or something that I plan to give to somebody, and so most of it's gone. I have taken pictures of a lot of the bits and pieces and they're on my Instagram. But I have still got a fair pile of stuff in front of me. So I've got my show notes, thank goodness, because pretty sure I will stuff this up at some point. Feeling real rusty. And I tell you right now, once you haven't podcast for a while, you lose your nerve for it. You start to feel nervous. You start to think, oh, people aren't really that interested in what I've got to say. Why do I think that what I'm showing is so important? But I'm here now and I'm doing it. So that's the main thing. I've even washed my hair and put on a dress. So my normal uniform for my craft room is I throw in a headband. I do put a little bit of tinted moisturizer on with sunscreen, and I have my nightie on. And I'm thinking I'm going to speak to my husband about moving the podcast area out into my living room area because we have had a bit of a clear up and there's quite a big space there, and I feel like I would have a bit more room because right now this is super cluttered, and even though I have a lot of stuff in this room, I normally have it fairly organised, and when it's all out like this, it makes me feel anxious. So I'm thinking that if I have it out in the TV area, it might be better and the background won't be quite so busy. So maybe a little bit less going on there and it might look aesthetically a bit better for you guys. So we'll have a chat about that and see what happens. But I set everything up this morning and when I plugged my camera in, it didn't work. I was like, oh gosh. So I set my iPad, my husband's got an old iPhone that I use in here for some bits and pieces. So I set that all up, got it all happening, and then I found a battery and I thought I'll try that battery in the camera, and voila, it worked. So here we are. All right, I'm rabbiting on, and as we know, time is of the essence. So I've already gone on and on. And I'm just setting up my little timer so that I can see it. Yep, I've already been talking for 4 minutes. I was thinking to myself this morning, here I go again. Look, it's going to be a bit like that. I was thinking to myself this morning, I hope I can still talk and throw a sentence together, because like most of us, I hardly ever go out. I don't talk to people other than my husband and my daughter, and, you know, Susan and I catch up for a coffee on the odd occasion. But we're both low-key people and we chat, but, you know, we're happy just to sit as well. So, yeah, let's see how we go, if I can throw these sentences together. So, all right, on with the show. Put my glasses on. What I'm wearing. This is a dress that I made last summer, and I could not find the pattern for it. I don't know what I've done with it, but I will put up on the screen here what the dress is. And I really like it. I made a few of these, and I did struggle with the V because it was the first time I'd actually sewn that sort of thing. But I like the dress because it's got elasticized on the side, both sides of the waist. There's no buttons or zips, and it sits flat across your tummy, so it's quite a flattering outfit to wear. And I made this because it has got like a red chrysanthemum type flower on it, and I made this for Christmas last year. So that's what I'm wearing. It is a homemade, and I have been making a lot of clothes, not just for me, but for Mum. And what I'm doing is I'm gradually, if every time I make something, I'm trying to take at least one, if not two pieces out of my wardrobe until I can say that my wardrobe is 100% made by myself. I mean, I think that's going to probably take a couple of years, to be honest. And there are some pieces that I probably wouldn't part with, but I do have a lot of stuff in my wardrobe. All right. Let's get on with it. I think the last time I spoke to you guys, I was working on my shawlography, and there's some pictures of this on Instagram, as I said, but this guy is all finished. I was so happy with this knit. I had a great time with it. I did start knitting in a different colour green, and I didn't like it, so I kicked that to the curb and pulled out this, which is a Holst garn. I think it's called Spruce, and much happier with that colour combo. I'll just hold it up so you guys can get a good old look at it. But I think the colours work really well together. I have done the Stephen West knit-alongs in the past and been disappointed with the finished product. However, in this instance, I love it. I did see a few people, this border was an epic journey across the shawl. It just felt like it was, and I kept stopping and thinking, how many more greens do I have to do? All right, 6. And then I'd stop again and have a look and see, how many more greens do I have to do? Oh, 5. Like, it seemed to take forever to get across this shawl. But, and I did see some people use the applied border that he had on the previous year's shawl, and it looked really good. And I kind of wished I'd done that as well, but I'm still happy with it. And yeah, finished. I really liked the stitches in it. Wasn't too sure about these guys when I first did them, but I think in the overall look of the shawl, they really work well. So yep, these were all yarns that I had in my stash. If you want to know what they are, you can go to my Ravelry. I'm pretty sure I've listed what they were, or DM me and I can, if you really want to know, and I can let you know on that one. So that's that guy finished. Usually what I do is I move everything from this desk to this desk, but I'm not kidding you guys. This desk is full and this desk is full. I'm definitely not going to get through it all, but we'll give it a red hot go. So the next thing that I finished, and I only, to certain people's amazement, I only got one yarn advent this year, and it wasn't sort of on purpose, but that's just how it worked out. I didn't keep the WhotKnot Nash and Eve advent, but, you know, because I'd already knit the pattern up. But Julia put together a beautiful little advent, It was a 12-day with a skein and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I told her that, and I knit up every bit of it. And what I did knit is I knit the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart, and this is it. All finished. The cream colour yarn is just 2 skeins of undyed yarn that I had kicking about, and all the other colours are colours that Julia put together for me in the Advent that she gifted me for Christmas. And like I said, I knit up every single piece, and yeah, I was really happy with it. So thanks, Julia. That was a beautiful gift and really enjoyable for me, that one. So that's that one. Moving right along. The next thing that I have finished, which was my first finished knit, I actually cast a few things on, and I am definitely one of those people. I like to cast on, knit it, cast off. As I'm getting toward the end of it, start thinking about my next project, and I don't know what happened, but sometime mid-December to the beginning of January, I cast on a few things, and it starts to make me feel a bit overwhelmed, like, am I going to get through them? I still have to do this, that, and the other. And anyway, so I've just like focused on one thing at a time. So the first thing that I cast on and have cast off this year is the Robin's Song, which is a drops pattern. It's a really nice, easy pattern. It's knit in Aran weight yarn, and it knits up really quickly and really beautifully. Just for the record, I have not blocked this. This is how it knits up. It is done in pieces and you seam it. So you can see inside I've done the seam there. The only things that I did differently on this, I started knitting it, well, actually started knitting the sleeve because I didn't get gauge. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit the sleeve and try it on and see how it fits me, and then I'll be able to work out what size. Now I think in the end I went up to a size large and I increased my needle size. I think it called for a 6 and I knit this on a 7, and it's perfect, fits me perfectly. And I changed the cuffs to a 1x1 twisted rib, because when I knit this the first time and I did like the pattern said, I didn't really like the look of the cuff. It kind of, I like it to like snug in around my wrist. It kind of bulged out a little bit. So I wasn't a big fan of that, and I thought, well, I'm ripping it out anyway. I'm going to do the band that I like. It's got a slight bit of detailing on the inside of the arm, just there, and it's also got that down the front panels where I think you can see it just a little bit better. If I'm holding these things, I'll watch this back and think, oh, I've just been throwing stuff at the camera, not taking my time. So it's got that little detail along there. There is enough room for 4 buttonholes, and when I went through my massive tin of buttons, did I have 4 grey buttons that matched? No, I didn't. So I've just gone for 1 button, and the fact of the matter is I probably won't button it that much anyway. So there's the button. Yep. So that's my Robin's Song all finished. And I'm just about finished my next cast on, but I'll talk about that in my whips. Now, let's see. Let me just check my notes so I don't get lost here. My project bag. So I made this project bag yesterday because I'm looking for a nice square bottom. I'm looking for a nice square bottom bag to do. After doing this one, and I've got a few ideas now, I think I will design my own. And I'll tell you why in a minute. This is a really nice little bag. I got the pattern. If you guys want to make one of these for yourself, I found the pattern on YouTube, and I'll link it in the show notes, but the YouTube channel is called Sewing Times, and she's got a really good video on how to make this guy. As you can see, he's got a nice square bottom, and also inside it's got the nice square cross section bottom as well. I didn't bother putting any pockets or anything like that in it. The only thing I will say, if you decide to make this pattern for yourself, a couple of things that I would recommend is she gives you the measurements and how to cut these out, and she cuts them out all individually. Next time I make it, I'm going to make a template to make, because this section here where you cut these curves out is kind of cut freehand. And when I was sewing it together, the pieces didn't match up 100%. I mean, I got by, it wasn't that far out, but I think I would make a cardboard template and use that to draft the pieces. And the other thing that she did is when she turned it inside out, she clipped the corners of these bits so they sat nicely, but she didn't say to clip the curved bits before you turn it in. And I found that once I turned it inside out, they didn't, or in the right way, they didn't sit nicely. So my recommendation is, if you do make this, just clip those little corners there a little bit before you turn it inside out. But I made it myself a dress out of this fabric, and this was left over. However, as I'll tell you in a minute, I do have to do a bit more work on that dress, even though it was all finished. So that brings me to my dresses. Now, as you can see in the background there, got Rusty lying on the floor right behind me. I finished that dress in the background, and I'm going to make another one of those. I really like it. I'll just see if I can go back and show you the sleeve without hitting Rusty. It's got a nice nice full sleeve on it, if you can see that there. So yeah, I'll show you the pattern there. This is the pattern, quite popular in the sewing community at the moment. So I ended up making the size medium, 12 to 14, because it does run a little large, I think, and it's got a few options. You can put ruffles on the sleeves if you want, instead of the puffy sleeves, which I did think about doing. I was a bit nervous about the sleeves, but they didn't turn out to be too bad at all. I was pretty happy with them in the end. And I made mine out of a poly cotton, and I've got some, I'll show you the fabric. Where is it? I've got this fabric, which I'm thinking about making my next one out of. It's a bit ratty because I've washed it ready to make it up. So I think that's what I'll use for the next one. And this is a rayon, so it'll hang even more drapey, I'm imagining. So yeah, got that from Spotlight, if you're wondering. So that's the first dress that I've got there. And as I said, I have made quite a few dresses for Mum. She's a little roundy, and she was having trouble finding something that was suitable for what she needed. She's got some mobility issues. She's got some hand function issues. So she's like me. She didn't want the zips and buttons and things like that she had to fuss with. I did find a really nice pattern. I made her one for Christmas and she loved it. So I've made her a few more since then. So I think I've made Mum 4 or so of those dresses. I've made that dress. I've made a couple of other dresses. I finished this one just this week. So let's see. There we go. This one. And I made the 3/4 length version with the short sleeves and the collar. So you've got a few options with that one. You can do short, long sleeves, collar, no collar, and obviously you can adjust the length. And I made that out of a gingham, but it's like a crushed gingham. And it's a bit hard to show these things in all their glory. But let me just hold it at the neck there so the collar sits properly. It looks nice on. So, yep, comfortable, lightweight, easy to wear. I had a hell of a time putting the collar on because I'm like teaching myself. I'm sure there's shortcuts and tricks and things like that, which I do not have. I said to my husband, I'm not frustrated with the pattern or the sewing. I'm frustrated with my limited knowledge in this area. If I had the knowledge, I think that it would make my life a lot easier when it came to these things. But as you go through the process of making stuff and pushing yourself to the next level, you kind of pick the things up. But I did quite a few YouTubes on this collar, and I don't know if you can see, but I ended up hand sewing it. I found it very tricky to get this to sit nicely. And in the end, I didn't do it like the pattern said. I followed a lady that was doing it on YouTube. And yeah, but I did make quite a few of those collars. And the collar probably took me 2 days when it probably should have taken me 20 minutes. But anyway, I'll know for next time. I did go into my stash for the buttons, probably a little bit big, bit 80s inspired with those big buttons, but that's what I had that matched in my stash. I didn't want to have to buy more buttons. So yeah, I haven't actually worn this out and about because who goes out and about these days? But I've got a wardrobe full of dresses just in case it ever happens. Speaking of, we are getting together for a coffee do either this week or next week. We're still in the throes of organising that. So I think I'll probably wear that guy when I go to that. So another dress that I've finished, how are we going? 20 minutes, we're halfway there, is this one. And this was a good, easy pattern. I ended up making the version down the bottom there with the little cap sleeves and the V-neck. Although I think next time I will make this version here. But this is the version that I made. And you can't see it in the images there, but it's got like a tie thing that ties around the back of your waist. And I tie it around the front because I'm sitting and nobody will be able to see it. And I wore this the other day, and the body of the dress fits really well. Let me see if I can back up again. The body of the dress fits really well, and it's got a good bit of room in it. And then I tie this strap around the front because I made this strap out of polka dot material, and who doesn't like a little bit of polka dot? And I think if you see somebody wearing polka dot down the street, you want to have a look at that. So I do it up at the front, but I am going to have to take these sleeves off and recut them because they fit, but you know when you like go to reach for something and it pulls, it's just a tiny bit too tight. And I think what I could have done was open that up and put a piece in down the bottom. But I've got more of the material and it's no big deal to cut out a new set of sleeves. And I'd rather do it properly than insert a piece. So once I've done that, this fits really nicely. And I think when I'm making clothes, I like the look of the rayon, but I like the feel of the cotton, the poly cotton, linen, like that sort of feel more so than that rayon type fabric. So this is perfect. And when I go out, I will be able to be matchy. Probably not, but you know. Well, I'm not saying I won't take them both out when I go, but yeah, I ironed that to show you, and now I've just screwed it up in a ball. Yeah. All right. Let me see. That's my finished objects that I've got to show you. As I said, I have got quite a few things that I've done, but that's what I've bought to show you. I'm hoping when I watch this back, it doesn't seem all over the place and rushed. But anyway, I'm here. I'm doing my best. So the next thing I've got to tell you about is my watercolours. And I haven't bought very many to show you because I have done a lot. A lot of you follow me on Instagram. A lot of them I've put on Instagram, so you've seen them. And this year I have signed up and paid for the membership to Skillshare. And I thought it was a bit expensive. It cost me just over $200 Australian. But having said that, if you went and did a class with somebody, and these classes are very detailed, these guys go to and knowing what's involved in putting a podcast together, I can only imagine what's involved in putting some of these classes together. They are well structured, thorough, informative. I've done several of them now, and I've got a, you can save them. And I have started off with 3 saved, and then I had 15 saved. I think I've got about 30 saved now, so I'm going to be busy. But I have done a few of the watercolour courses. I had a look for some of the sewing classes on Skillshare, and if you're a good sewer, they seem to be lacking in the sewing department. There's not a lot, but they do have a lot of people doing watercolour. So this is one of the classes that I did. Well, I didn't do this. I did a class with this lady, and then after the class, I decided I wanted to have a go on my own. So I painted that guy, koala bear. And there was a lady trying to encourage you to be a bit more free and loose with, this was the painting that I did online with that lady. Lambo, she calls, a little lamb that lives in her back paddock. So I did Lambo in the class, and then I applied the techniques that I learnt in the class to do this little koala bear. And I was very happy with how both of those turned out. And this was another class that I did where the lady was encouraging you to try and paint in a free form style of painting. So I did that class with her, and that was really enjoyable. She just to try and loosen up, because when you're painting you can get a bit bogged down in the fiddliness of it. This was one that I just did myself, just some roses that I've been practicing to do. Nothing special there, just even spelt roses wrong, so I never claimed to be Einstein. Where is my other book? Oh, put my shawlography on top of it. So I showed you guys this last year on the podcast, and this is a little book that I'm keeping, just paintings that I've done. I think I've shown you guys a few of these that I've just, it's like a painting journal. So a couple of the classes that I've done I did in here. And we did, where are we? I did this with the Skillshare class. And it's basically where you do the watercolour background and then you use gel pens or inks to, on this one it's white and on this one it's black. But how effective does that look? It's really effective, I think. Visually effective. And then I did another Skillshare class and got so excited. Look what I did. I put it in my book upside down. What an idiot. So, yeah. But this guy that did this class, he does a lot of illustrations for children's books. And it's funny because when I showed you guys this on Instagram, a few of you said, oh, you could illustrate children's books. And actually the guy that did the class, that's what he does for a living. So, yeah, this was all done with watercolour pencils. No pots of watercolour were used. So, yeah, been enjoying that. And had my birthday. So my birthday month this month, Mr. WhotKnot's birthday next month. So officially for 20 odd days, I am older than him, which he loves to remind me of in these 23 days. So we're both turning 54 this year. I do not know how that happened. But anyway, just going to grab something that Mr. WhotKnot gave me for my birthday. And he actually gave me 2 fountain pens. So I've got this one, which is shows a clear chamber. These are pricey, these things. And the only thing was, because neither of us knew what we were buying, told him to buy the wrong one, and it's got like a thick nib on it, and I wanted the thin nib. I've actually loaded this with paint ink myself, but I've since ordered a thinner nib, and we'll see how that goes. But this is a Plinker. Clearly don't know what I'm talking about. And the other one that he got me, and we got this second hand because these are mucho dinero and some Australian dollars. And this is a Naminki pen, and this is a fine tipped one. And this pen is lovely to write with. And the reason that I show you those is A, because Mr. WhotKnot gave them to me, but B, last year I showed you that I had bought this guy. And I've been practicing like crazy. Every day I practice, and I'm trying to teach myself copper plate writing. So that was yesterday's efforts. But I feel like I've come a long way. Wait till I show you the first page. This was done with the thicker pen. So that was the thicker pen. And yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky business, but I feel like I'm getting better. I'm watching lots of YouTube tutorials and Googling lettering and the scrolling work. So, yep, I just do a little bit of that each day. For what purpose, you ask? I don't know. I don't know. Just want to know how to do it. Look, I forgot to I'm thinking, why is this random ball of wool here? I forgot to tell you, this is the wool that I knit my Robin song out of, if you're wondering. I blame you, Nicole, from our coffee group. She bought some stuff from Holstgarn when they had their Black Friday sales, and she was telling me about it, and so I got straight on and I bought that. Anyway, I've knitted up, so it doesn't matter. All right, watercolours, Skillshares. All right, now a couple of things that I don't think I'm going to get to my whips, so I might talk about them next time, but I have got a few whips on the go. But one of the things that I did want to show you this week is I went to the Oppie with Susan and I picked this fabric up. It's so soft and light. Make a nice blanket, but it's really light. Trying to give you an idea of the thickness of it. It's soft, really soft and nice. And I am going to make myself like a light cardigan / jacket. And I'll put a picture up here of the first one that I'm thinking about is the Marlo sweater. So that's this guy. Or there's a Karma knit cardi. So they're the two patterns I'm thinking about using that for. And I did buy some ribbing because I thought, oh, see if I can get this without everything falling. Only one thing fell. We're all good. I bought this ribbing because I thought, oh, well, I'll rib it in do the cuffs and the band and everything with this ribbing. But because I ordered this online, and one of the bad downsides to ordering online is I don't like them together. This is quite white creamy, and this is kind of porridge coloured, and it makes it look a bit grubby. So I'm going to make myself a nightie out of that. There'll be enough there for a nightie, and I've got a nightie pattern. So yes, I've got this pattern, which I thought I would use that ribbed material to make that dress there, but use it as a nightie. And the other fabric that I've got that I've bought, and it's all washed ready to go, is I bought this lovely, it's got like a peachy pink background with the peaches on the top, also purchased from Spotlight. And I thought I would make this dress. I might look for something like a contrast, something in the green maybe for those pockets. We will see. But my thought was that I could wear like a white singlet or a white t-shirt or something like that on even underneath it if the weather cools down. Yeah. Because what happened, I shouldn't say because what happened was that Spotlight had a sale and they had all their patterns. These patterns are normally in the $20 range, and they had them all thrown out. I think it was for $6 or $9. So I went through and just bought a selection, and I thought what I'll do is I'll gradually make each one and cull out the ones that I don't like. Having said that, there was another dress that I made just after Christmas with one of the patterns. It's already gone to the op shop. Did not like it. No, it was too foofy for my liking. But yeah, I'm just gradually making them and seeing which ones I like. So I've got about 10 minutes left. So I thought I might show you something that Mum gave me for my birthday. Okay, this is what Mum gave me for my birthday. And I have never seen one of these before, and I was quite interested in it. How do you open this box? There it is. Have you guys seen these? So it's I believe, Japanese style of decoration, and it comes with a kit with all the threads. I will link the Etsy shop where Mum got this, and I will put a picture up on the screen here of what this is supposed to look like when it's finished. But it comes with all the bits, so it's got all the needles, it's got pins, it comes in all these little tubes. It's a really well put together kit. It doesn't come with written instructions. It comes with a link to a YouTube. It even comes with a tiny little tape measure and a little O-ring to hang it up with. Yeah, but it doesn't come with instructions. You've got to go and watch the YouTube tutorial. But I'm excited to have a go at that. And maybe next time I podcast, I will have at least some of it done. It's quite intricate. I think it's going to take me a little while. This seems to be made up of, like, it's got actually a bit of a spongy texture to it, but yeah, interesting. Keen to give that a go. And the other thing that I got for my birthday was Mr. WhotKnot bought me one of these guys. And yeah, I have only taken 2 pictures with it because I don't want to waste the film. But I plan on using the pictures for my journaling. I'll show you. This was the first picture I took. It's a little bit overexposed. That one. And then I know a few of you are watching on Instagram. I'm doing a knitting journal this year, inspired by Sue. Thanks, Sue. So this is what my journal's looking like thus far. That's the cover. I didn't show me doing the back, but that's the back. I'll put that little bit of business on the back there. And I've only done one page because I've only finished one project, but I did stick this in the pocket, and I changed the exposure on the camera and made it darker, and I made it too dark, but I thought, I don't care. I'm going to use that anyway. So I've got that in my pocket, and that's got all my notes about the Robin song that I've written on there. And I'll just put that back together, and that goes in the pocket. But I'll just show you that page. So that was my page. I've knit a little swatch just here of the material and left the bow so it hangs out the side. And yeah, so keeping a knitting journal. So just about to gear up because I've got enough time. I'll show you my, let me just get the name right. It's called the Bloom Sweater, and it's knit out of hippie fibres, and I think that the wool looks like pot puree, so I think it's appropriate. The only thing about this that I don't like is it's knit from the bottom up, and I feel like I'm out of control with it, but I'm onto the yoke. How beautiful does that colour look on the camera there? It does look like a dried rose, doesn't it? Yeah, but I have to say, I'm not keen on the bottom up. I feel like I'm going to run out of wool. I've got that much of this ball. That's all I've got left to do the whole yoke. Feeling nervous. I'm feeling really nervous. When you knit from the top down, you can sort of adjust the length, can't you? You can go, oh, well, I'll just do a centimetre less. And I did opt for the puffy sleeves. So that probably used up a bit more yarn, but they're not full length. I'm going for sort of the 3/4 length look sleeve. So as you can see from that, I'm up to about there. I figure the decreasing is going to start soon, so I might be okay. We will see. Stay tuned. So I think that's all we've got time for today. I did have a couple of other things to show you, but not much. And it seems to be perfect timing because I don't know if you can hear that, but the guy next door's just started up his lawnmower. It's been stinking hot here. In fact, we had the AC running all night last night. So pretty happy to have air conditioning. Thank you to whoever invented that. And I've been in the pool. But yeah, I really like the warm weather. I much prefer the warm weather to the cold weather, but my left leg is not liking it. I did fall over earlier this year, like a couple of weeks ago, and I hurt my knee and my foot, and my legs swelled up, and I've had trouble getting the swelling down since then, but we're nearly on top of it, thank goodness. First world problems. But yeah, I like to get in the pool and have a bit of a splash around, and I think that's what I will be doing this afternoon. But thanks for sticking with me, guys. I'm sorry it's been such a long time. I have enjoyed chatting to you guys, some of you guys on Instagram, and hopefully it won't be so long before I'm back again. But let me know if your preference is the slightly shorter podcast, because I think that I will try and contain it to the 40 minutes of actual content. So there'll be the intro and then 40 minutes. So let's see how we go. All right, guys, thanks for popping in, and I'll see you next time.